Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for Week 17 with the Big 3 DFS show, man. Al Walsh is on assignment. With me, as always, co-hosting is Chris Sweet, and David Zidek is a special guest. He's returning from last week. Our big $10,000 winning man, so to speak, for the Wagner Wire, has joined us for another session of the Big 3 DFS. Like I mentioned, Al Walsh is on assignment. He won't be with us tonight. So you're stuck with us. You don't have the baby blue eyes like Al, but I mean, we have our moments, I guess.
You got Chris's beard though. That thing is
pretty
fierce.
much. And it's
Thank you.
Sweet beard, by the way. Sweet beard, gentlemen.
How
was your old Christmas?
blue eyes.
Yeah, but they're not glossy.
They're not
like Al's.
baby blue. No.
They're not baby blues like Al's. Anyways, yeah. How was your old Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen rather? What did Santa bring?
It was pretty good, you know. Got a couple of shirts, a hat, and, some gift cards so I can go stuff my face. Some stuff like that, you know.
Good
What
deal.
about you,
You gonna get some more National Bohemian in the background there?
Oh man, I could never have enough of that stuff.
Right on. Dave Zidek, nice for you to join us again, brother. Tell me, did Santa Claus bring you that stocking cap, or was that pulled right out of your sack?
This is fresh from last year. I haven't had too many chances to wear it. Figured I'd wear it in the basement where it's nice and cold. Not going to wear it anywhere else.
Well, apparently Texas has joined the rest of the nation in the cold front. It's finally snowing down here in Dallas the other day. We had hail the other night actually, and it's been a little bit of snow around midnight 2 nights ago. But other than that, I mean, it's all melted away. Nothing sticking, but still cold, man. Definitely cold.
Yeah, well, it's nice and warm here in West Virginia. Not too far from Chris. He'll tell you the same thing. It's unseasonably warm there, Captain Wagner.
Where in?
Yeah, it was like
in Maryland.
Maryland, West Virginia line. Yeah, nice and warm.
In that tri-state area, huh?
it was like 70 degrees on Christmas. It was muggy. It felt like freaking August out here. It sucked.
Yeah, that's not Christmas. Al asked me last week what it's like in Texas for Christmas, and I guess it's safe to say that it's the same everywhere almost, only we just say Feliz Navidad down here most of the time, but other than that, so we're going to do this show a little bit differently today. Al's, like I said, Al's not with us. He's on assignment. He'll be back with us next week. Make sure you tune in to Al Walsh DFS for your NBA research. Tonight we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to designate Chris Sweet with the top quarterback plays, David Zidek with the top running back plays. I'm going to handle the wide receivers, and then we're going to collaborate on the tight ends and defense. We're trying to shrink the show down. We know a lot of people have a lot going on. Dave and Chris, they have to work, not like me. My job is basically writing and keeping these two people of my motley crew in order, so to speak. Anyhow, so we're gonna, without further ado, we're gonna let Chris get on with it with the top quarterbacks. Keep it in mind, it's week 17. It's an irrelevant week for most teams in this week, or for week 17. Fantasy football, the season long is no longer a part of this conversation. DFS is strict pretty much with this. So, Chris, without further ado, take it away, brother.
All right, well, without further ado, my first quarterback of my top three is none other than Dave Zidek's boy, Ben Roethlisberger, in a game they do need to win to have some hope of making the playoffs. After, we'll ask Dave what happened when they went into Ryan Mallett's house last week.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time. Whose house?
Ryan Mallett, the Malibu Most Wanted's house last week, as Bernie Lipscomb coined him. So I like him a lot against Cleveland. It's a game they gotta win. Let me check the price here. He is $6,900 on DraftKings, so not too expensive. He's probably one of your top options this week. Like I said, they gotta win. They had just a letdown last week. Fantasy-wise, their offense did not get going besides D'Angelo Williams. So I look for them to bounce back, make Antonio Brown's season look even more ridiculous, and that's probably my top play of the week. My second top play is another pretty obvious guy who, at this moment, also needs to win, is Tom Brady. They need to secure that number 1 seed, so I look for him to get it going too. He's also, he's a little more expensive, 7,400. But we know Miami. Miami has not been stopping anybody as of late. They don't have anything to play for. This is,
Well, I mean,
what else do you say?
Campbell, I'm sorry to cut you off, but does Dan Campbell get that defense going? Does he have something to play for? I mean,
he might. Yeah, I mean, he might go out there. He might put a jersey on, get out there, and play some middle linebacker to try to help the team out. I'm not really sure, but
he was a tight end, so let's hopefully he has some inside linebacker instinct.
I'm sure he played some two-way ball in high school. Come on, boys, y'all both
sure we all did. Yeah, we all did.
We'll talk about Boonesboro turning the scoreboard back on later with Dave Zidek, because that's one of my favorite stories.
Snap. Get some. That's
one of my favorite Brooklyn stories of all time. And I'm gonna round it off with one last quarterback. This is going to be a cheaper option, and I have a feeling he'll be pretty popular. It's Brian Hoyer in a game they also kind of need to win. I think Indianapolis can get into playoffs if Penn State wins, Brunswick wins, and PBYA, Mount Airy Bulldogs win. I think that's the only way the Colts get into playoffs. But you gotta like Brian Hoyer's matchup. He's real cheap as long as he plays. I mean, I think we all. I have a feeling he's going to be a pretty popular gentleman.
You think Whedon solidified that quarterback starting role last week? You don't think?
I don't. I think he solidified a spot on Jerry Jones' shit list. That's about it. When he said that Jerry's going to be watching on the couch, playoffs on the couch. So this is a pretty crazy league when you got Ryan Mallett, Matt Castle, Brandon Whedon, and I know I'm missing someone else that all started for 2 teams this year. There's not enough good quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what that tells me. Clausen, you got it. Yeah.
Unreal. Well, I mean, I certainly don't have any objections with your top quarterback, Big Ben. I know Dave will hit on this too. I just think, you said it. I mean, with the playoff picture the way it is, Big Ben has to win. I mean, they're in the hunt. They don't have anything guaranteed for him yet. Look for the Steel City stack to just unleash fury against the Cleveland Browns, man. I mean, I'm sure Dave might have some comments on that with some sleepers going into that game. But as a resident Steeler advisor here, Dave, what do you see coming out of this game?
To start off, I don't have any sleepers, so to speak. Most of their guys are pretty high priced. But yeah, after last week's letdown, that was a complete debacle. Just an embarrassment for the city. Went into piss poor Baltimore, and we could have got beat by Tony Banks at age 57.
Great pull.
It was awful.
Didn't Tony Banks manage that team to a Super Bowl and let Trent Dilfer take over? I'm just saying.
I think, Dilfer may have came in for him mid-season. I don't remember if it was Banks or not.
Yeah.
You could be right.
I think so.
I believe Dilfer relieved Banks, and he at least didn't throw a bunch of picks.
Yep.
Well, you got anybody else in this game, Dave?
In this game, I was gonna start off my running backs when we get to that topic.
It's a good segue,
Williams will be in there.
Good segue.
Yeah, that's a nice way to bridge the gap there, Adam. Yeah, we're gonna start off the top 3 running backs. My number 1 is D'Angelo Williams on DraftKings. He's at 7,100, which is I think he's the 2nd or 3rd most expensive on that list. But with him, you're getting a terrible Browns defense. They are the league's worst in allowing 135 yards a game. And in the 7 times so far this season, Williams has totaled over 110 yards of total scrimmage yards himself, and I think he's only started 8 or 9 games this year. So he's been productive every time he's been in the lineup. Even when the Steelers sucked like last week, he still put up big numbers, big fantasy points. I think he had mid-30s last week in your DraftKings lineup for as far as points. And the Steelers, well, they can't defend the pass. Manziel just got put on the bench because Wagner told me today that he spiked his head off of a tablet while getting pissed off on the sideline or something like that.
I don't know. My reference might not be legit. My source might not be legit. I got it off of the social media, and it was him cracking his head on the damn tablet. So
either way, he's in the concussion protocol, so we're not sure who their quarterback's going to be exactly. But if it is Austin Davis, obviously he doesn't propose a big threat. but the Steelers can't defend the pass, especially inside the hashes, and they could potentially still put up a few points to keep that game close. So for your DFS lineups, you don't necessarily have to worry about the Steelers blowing them out and then maybe pulling some of their guys out of the lineups. So D'Angelo Williams, number one, easy, 7,100, number one.
Right on. And that Steelers defense, like you mentioned, they can't defend, giving up 270 yards through the air per game. I bet Johnny would have liked to seen a little bit of this game, especially to solidify himself as the starting quarterback in the future for the Browns. However, he's not going to get that chance. Who else you like? I mean, obviously, D'Angelo Williams is my number one pick. I'm sure it's going to be Chris's number one pick, too, going up against this, Sisters of the Weak and Unscrupulous Cleveland Brown rushing defense. Like you mentioned, allowing 135 yards on the ground per game. What's not to like about D'Angelo Williams? Hey, real quick, is this guy, is he the fantasy gem? Is he the find, so to speak, for season long this year?
Come back to me. You broke up a little bit.
Is D'Angelo Williams the fantasy gem? Is he the number one fantasy pickup on the waiver wire, so to speak, this year for season long?
I would say as far as total point production for somebody who wasn't projected except for a 2-game starter, I mean, he's got to be up there. Like I told you before, he's had seven of his 8 or 7 of his 9 starts have had over 110 total yards. And, I mean, he's just been on fire. He's been a savior for the Steelers. And I believe we got him on a 2-year deal, so he should be back next year, barring Bell's health coming off, a second knee injury. It's
do you think
been a monster pickup?
Yeah, true. Do you think Tomlin, tries to tell Haney, maybe we go to a 2-back set, or is it just going to be a featured Le'Veon Bell looking into next year, or is that just too far away?
Well, see, Adam, this is something you're not familiar with, nor is San Diego Sweet there. We actually have 3 legit receivers. So what we do, we spread it out, and we start slinging it.
Yeah, you're right. I have no idea about your wide receivers. So.
No. So we don't need a 2-back set. This isn't the wing tee offense via Mark Mitchell. That doesn't exist in the NFL.
Okay.
This isn't the power eye with Tommy Frazier. We got 1 back, and both of them are unstoppable when they're healthy. So I realize this is something you guys aren't accustomed to, but our bandwagon is growing. We have reservations for 2. I thought you're order foreman. We'll see if we can get you on board.
Go to hell.
I couldn't take getting beat by the Ravens all the time,
First time in forever. First time in forever we've lost 2.
That is true. You guys got swept, huh?
Yeah,
I think you guys lost a pretty big one last. You guys lost a pretty big one last year to him too. I don't remember. Was it in January? I think.
Well, douche. One of them was bad. Sometimes we tend to block those things out. Just like
Hey, I got lots of heartache in my past of the Chargers.
Yeah,
so I know how it is.
There's a lot going on. I mean, we'll get to it a little bit after Dave breaks down his other 2 running backs. But there's some news going around in the NFL. Definitely some moving going around. Board Chip Kelly, but we'll get to that in a little bit here. Go ahead, Dave. Anything else going on with your running back situation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number 2 on my list. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying my list is the top 3 running backs that I think are going to be out this week, but it also comes into play as the price point for your DFS lineup. So number 2 I got on there is Tim Hightower. He's priced at $5,500 on DraftKings. He's playing Atlanta at Atlanta. Atlanta has the 4th worst. Actually, they're the 4th worst team as far as defending the running back position in the NFL. They've allowed 18 touchdowns this year to the running back position, and there's no weather to worry about. No, it is creeping on January here, and let's see, New Orleans, their defense is awful. They're in the top, I think, 2 in every category as far as the worst. So that should give them plenty of opportunity as far as not defending Atlanta's offense to put themselves right back out there on offense to rack them up. Let's see what else we got here. I think he's had 260 yards and 3 touchdowns just over the last 3 games alone, and he's been a guy who just came out of nowhere to restart his career. I think he had 2 years off. So his legs are fresh, playing a bad defense. No, weather's not a factor. And he's got Breeze to back the defensive backs off of that line of scrimmage. He's my number 2. Tim Hightower, $5,500 on DraftKings. And we're going to finish that up of a top 3 with Rashad Jennings. He's priced at 3,700 on DraftKings. That's your Giants running back. He's going against Philadelphia this week. And let's see, Jennings. He's been kind of splitting a lot of time this year, but in the past 3 weeks, he's been the guy to take on the lead back role. He's got the most touches by far. He's had 52 carries in the last 3 games. Vereen steals a couple of passes, but nothing goal line worthy. Andre Williams doesn't even see the field, so Wagner, I don't know why your boys drafted him. He's the biggest guy of the bunch. He's like your Brandon Jacobs, but he's irrelevant. He's kind of like your 3-point shot, Adam. Irrelevant. And what else we got here?
I didn't realize it was beat down on Wagner Day. But anyway.
Hey, Wagner Wire, we're dropping hammers out here.
I'm telling you.
But let's see, Philadelphia is the defense Rashad's playing against this week. They've given
129 on the ground per game, right under 130 they allow. Philadelphia does on the ground.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. I was getting to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and not to mention they get back Mike Tyson's whipping boy of some sort. OBJ is back in the lineups to help their total offense out, which should create a little bit more room for Jennings. And at that price, you're looking at a starting running back as far as workload at a $3,700 price. You can't beat that.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, Philadelphia, their defense is just shot. Just under 130 on the ground per game. Through the air, they allow 265. That speaks well for the Giants' offense. Let's just hope they got something to play for. Hopefully, they can stick through it and get Tom Coughlin another win. I don't want to see Tom Coughlin go away from the Giants. There's rumors saying that Chip Kelly, after he got fired. How do you get fired on your day off, Craig? Even though this dude got fired, there's talks that he might be moving in for a Giants job, being that he just bought a house in New Jersey. So I ain't got time for that. I don't want to see Chip Kelly in a Giants, in a Giants.
I hope not.
Cap, so to speak. It's just gonna.
What about a Longhorns cap?
He ain't coming to Tech. There's no way he's coming to the Longhorns. No way. Absolutely not. But anyways, I just don't. I don't want to see Chip Kelly in Giants blue attire, man. I think it's a bad move for that organization. I think Tom Coughlin has solidified himself as a great coach, a superstar or a Super Bowl winning coach, and I just think he needs to stay there, man. It's an off year. He's had 2 off years. Not making the playoffs and whatnot. And normally the Giants we're there. But again, another thing that you talked about, this Atlanta-New Orleans
real
game.
Quick there, G-Man.
Go ahead, Ice Pick.
Now, you want to keep Coughlin around, but doesn't he just look like a total buffoon when week after week after week, they just botch it. Just epic botches of play clock, Eli managing the game, the sideline managing the game, the running out of time on everything.
That's McAdoo.
Well,
that's not Coughlin. Coughlin does the special teams. He makes overall decisions, but he has
he's the boss.
He is the boss, or boss hog. But I mean, we've seen delegated authority spread out throughout the NFL, and Tom does a really good job at delegating authority. I just think he's delegating too much. I think he needs to take over and retake the reins, so to speak. Bringing in Steve Spagnuolo, I don't know what happened there. It's not your 2007 Giants. You don't have 4 dynamic defensive ends that can constantly rush a quarterback. That being said, our secondary has always been suspect, but it's never been witnessed because of that front 4 getting busy and getting after the QB. Now that that's not happening, that defense is they're the worst in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, it looks pretty Bush League out there.
Bush League.
I heard that Coughlin might get traded across the street to the Meadowlands retirement castle. Might be time for him to retire.
I doubt it. I don't think so, man. He's still got a lot of good football in Tom Coughlin, man. And those cheeks, when they get red in the wintertime, it's on, baby.
He needs some chapstick on them things.
I'm telling you. All right, well, anyways, like I mentioned, season long is over, and now we're just in the DFS mode pretty much. An awesome DFS platform that's out there, U Stadium. We've been doing a lot of talks with them, been playing on their platforms a lot. They got a $2 lineup right now. It's called Sweet 60. Check it out. $2 to $60 to the winner, just for a $2 profit. Go and check them out at U Stadium. You can find them on Twitter and download that app and get the latest in NFL fantasy sports going in there for the U Stadium. Moving into wide receivers. You guys have mentioned it. You guys broke down Ben Roethlisberger. I think you got a couple in with his number one target getter there, and on that wide receiver staff, it's AB Antonio Brown. Going against Cleveland, they're allowing 244 yards through the air. I just think this guy's got to be your number one wide receiver, being that Steelers are in the hunt, they have something to play for, and they're going to look to redeem themselves after what I think Ben got 3 points in fantasy sports last week.
Oh, murder.
Yeah, it was murder she wrote. I'm telling you, man. But Dave, you alluded to it earlier. You said you guys got a wide receiver core of 3, which brings me to a question to you. I have AB as a solid number 1 lock. He's definitely in there. But there's some other talent on this wide receiver core for the Steelers. Do you see them, or could you see yourself as a DFS player? And Sweet, this is to you as well. Could you maybe have 2 wide receivers from the Steelers in your DFS roster this week?
You certainly can. Bryant is a threat to not necessarily catch 12, 14, 16 balls like Antonio Brown has a few times this year, but he does have a big play threat. Those over 40-yard catches for touchdowns. He stunk last week. We couldn't do anything, period. But he had a bad week. Wheaton was irrelevant. The whole offense was irrelevant minus D'Angelo Williams last week. You could sneak Bryant in there. I think he's priced at like 5,600. That's his pretty much average throughout the whole season. You could probably find a better receiver that's going to get more targets at $5,600 than Bryant, especially with D'Angelo Williams stealing a lot of at least touches. But Antonio Brown's going to be your number 1. You could sneak Bryant in there. It could pay off big because he does have that ability.
All right, yeah, that's what that's the thought process that was going through my head when I was rostering my lineups today. Another wide receiver for my second. This week with Week 17, you basically got to pick people that are going to be relevant. And what I mean by this is T.Y. Hilton going up against the Tennessee Titans. Nothing said and locked for the Colts. Nothing said and locked for the Steelers nor the Texans, man, with that playoff picture the way it is. The Colts have to win their division. That's the only way in, pretty much. I don't see them with a 7-8 record. I don't see them winning a wild card. The Steelers are 9-6, so obviously, whichever one of the Texans or Colts lose here, they're eliminated. If the Steelers win and get in, they're gonna need a little help from the Jets to lose. I don't know. It's gonna be a relevant week for a few players in fantasy sports for Week 17, and that's why I got to go with T.Y. Hilton. I don't know. Like I said, going up against Tennessee, they're only allowing 232 yards through the air, but they got to do something. Indianapolis has to do something. You've seen the emergence of Frank Gore over the past couple of weeks. He's had a great season with the Colts as well. But I just think that it's Hilton's week. He's the playmaker, the big play maker. He gets most targets over Moncrief there, and I'd like to see Andre Johnson come and be a factor in this, be in a revenge game. But nah, it's not going to happen. Sorry, Andre, you're just not the player you used to be, and I've really swung and missed on you in the third round this year in season long. So yeah, T.Y. Hilton, that's my other guy. That's my second.
Adam, what's
guy
his
that
price?
I think, I don't have a price. I don't have it on. I think it's 67. Don't have it off the top of my head.
He's 5,600.
56.
Oh, it might be a steal.
Could be a steal, but he's listed as questionable, so monitor that. What's that?
Who's throwing him the ball? It's not Hasselbeck, is it?
It's not going to be Hasselbeck. No, I don't think so. There's talks.
It's going to be Charlie Jesus.
Charlie Jesus. Well, you like Whitehurst. I think the guy's got a cannon. He's another Clemson Tiger.
Hold on. The guy blew his hamstring out running to the sideline last week.
You don't like.
He's not a stellar athlete.
Well, it doesn't have to be an athlete. It's a quarterback.
I'm just saying it's embarrassing. He's got long hair and he blew his hammy out.
Well, he didn't do
Whitehurst.
He didn't do Tilbury's warm-ups, that's for sure.
I like Whitehurst because the Chargers traded him for like 4 second-round picks and then got him back the next season when he sucked as a starter.
Hey, that guy made a career out of doing nothing.
Yeah,
Genius.
got a paycheck. That's for
A
sure.
lot of them.
And this the other wide receiver that we got to get to. I mean, like I said, you got to pick somebody that's going to be playing for something. And with the playoff picture the way it's shaping out for the NFC, I think James Jones for the Green Bay Packers is a good pick. They're squaring off against the Minnesota Vikings. I would love to tell you to play, Stephon Diggs. He just came up and did nothing for me last week. Cobb did nothing for me last week. A matter of fact, a lot of these, James Jones didn't do much either. But I just think, with, Green Bay having something to play for, Aaron Rodgers distributes the ball well. I think he takes, he makes the best, he takes, advantage of the best situations that's brought, proposed to him, so to speak. That Minnesota defense, they're not bottom of the barrel. I mean, they're allowing 232 yards through the air. Just like the Tennessee Titans. I gotta have James Jones in my lineup. The guy's caught touchdowns. I mean, especially if he's wearing that hoodie. If he's wearing that hoodie underneath the shoulder pads, he's gonna get you some touchdowns. We gotta get somebody that's in there in the locker room beforehand to let us know if he's gonna wear that hoodie or not.
Yeah, I can't believe he still wears that. I don't even think Sweet could pull that off.
That's midget. No, that's like Pop Warner football type of deal. How are you just gonna get yanked by your hoodie and stuff? Well, I don't know. I guess
how is that part of the uniform?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That hoodie looks like he's been wearing it since like 1987 too. I think it looks worn out.
It's faded green.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a starter hoodie, I think.
Well, he's definitely got to give it away to charities, that's for sure. Hey, speaking of charities, DFS has an awesome platform. It's called Fantasy Hub. They also donate to charities as well. DFS has been getting a black eye. Their industry's been getting a black eye across the nation. Read about it. Read up a little bit on DFS, and before you make any before you make any prejudgments, so to speak, on how you feel, either yay or nay on DFS, why don't you check out Fantasy Hub? They donate percentages to charities and nonprofit organizations. So that stereotype that, oh my God, DFS, it's so bad. Why don't you check stuff out?
They're gambling.
Oh, it's gambling. Yeah. Guess what? So is playing Keno and doing the lotto. Across state borders and the nation. So the state has a gaming agency, a gaming commission. They run the state lottery. There's no skill whatsoever in lottery. It's just all luck. And you're telling me that it can't be rigged? Somebody can't add a weighted little thing in the ball to not let it come up. You're telling me that can't be?
Isn't that how the Knicks got Patrick Ewing?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Frozen envelope.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I mean,
Chris.
It's just like anything can be corrupted, man. To say that DFS is corrupted and it's not meant for. It's not fair for everybody. That's a crock of crap, man. Do your research, get your knowledge in on it, and then congressman or woman, whoever you are, if you got some questions, come ask me, Adam Wagner at the Wagner Wire. I will tell you about it. I also have a government degree from the University of Texas at Austin. So it's a prestige. Yeah, it's a prestigious little non-Ivy League school, so to speak. What is it? It's a I don't know
university.
It's a football university.
Yeah, it used to be a football school.
Now it's a school with a football problem. So that's a shame. It feels like as soon as I got down here, they just started doing lousy. So maybe I need to pack up and move and get out of Austin. I'm not sure. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what happened when you went to Poly. Bye, Brunswick. Bye. I'm out of here. See ya.
Deuces. All right. Anyways,
you were back in time. You were back in time to be in Jack No's class with me my senior year.
I came back just in time for everyone to realize that I was the missing link. So. But I also blew that state championship or the call against Walkersville. With 4-4-4 down. We're not going to go into our grade school shortcomings. All right, so here, we got some NFL news going around the horn. Obviously, the big news is that Chip Kelly is out. We alluded to that a little bit on the show earlier. Guys, thoughts? I'll start with Chris first. Is this good or bad for the Eagles, rather?
Well, I think this is a two-sided coin. I think it's, you can look at it two ways, but I think the Eagles are going to regret it, but I also don't think they had much of a choice. I think the worst thing they did was gave him the GM power. If they never did that, I think they'd be doing okay, but once he became GM, he got rid of all their good players and still tried to use the system, and that just doesn't really work. Now, what's going to happen is he's going to take the Tennessee Titans to the AFC South Championship next year.
Wow.
And the Eagles fans are going to feel really bad because they're going to have Andy Reid making, chicken salad out of chicken, whatever, with Alex Smith out in Kansas City going to the playoffs. And then you're going to have Chip in the playoffs too next year. So I feel bad for the Eagles fans. I think that's probably he's either doing that or going back to college. That'd be my two guesses. But I think that's the place.
I'm sorry, we got lag here, and of course I cut people off.
Oh no!
You don't think taking a step back, or you don't think going down to college is taking a step back from him? He's proven himself in NC2A. What's left to do?
That's why I think he'll probably try. That's why I think he'll probably try to see if he can get on in Tennessee. I'd be surprised if they don't call him first. That just doesn't that seem like the best fit? He has his quarterback. If he can't win there, he's not going to be able to do it.
But what is left around Mariota? He wants to come in and implement that Oregon Duck defense. Sure.
Yeah, he's got Dorial Green Beckham. I think he'll be good. I think that's a good start. But yeah, he'll have to get a running back in there that can. He'll have to get DeMarco Murray because that worked out really well for him. Maybe get a little running back that works a little better in his system. But yeah, for the Eagles, they got a lot of soul searching to do now. This might be it for Sam Bradford. I can't imagine they're going to want to build their franchise around him, but they got a lot of pieces to sort out there. Because do you bring someone in that uses DeMarco Murray the right way, or do you get rid of DeMarco Murray? So they got a lot of cheesesteaks and a lot of questions in Philly this offseason.
That's true. They got a great backfield. I think with those three running backs, Ryan Matthews, DeMarco Murray, and Darren Sproles, I think either one of these three, it's a really good problem to have. I don't know how Chip botched this up so bad. He turned in his gold for crystal, so to speak. And the thing about crystal is that it breaks.
Crystal meth.
Pretty much, right?
Crystal meth, yeah.
Yeah. So, Dave, what do you see out of this? Is this good or bad for the Philadelphia Eagles?
For the Eagles as an organization, I don't think it could be bad at all because it can't get any worse. He had one good year with someone else's roster.
Right. He took a 10-6 Eagles team, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had another good year the following year. But you could see when he was in full control over the roster this past year, he brought in all his own guys, got rid of the other guys. And just didn't work out. They brought in not a college-style running back. DeMarco Murray's a pro-style running back.
Right.
I think they tried to complement him with Sproles, who I don't know how and why they didn't use Sproles all year the same way he did in college. He's super effective. You isolate him on a linebacker, and he just murders everybody.
It seems like the back
didn't do that, so
it seems like the fitting back for Chip Kelly's type of offense that he was running, anyways.
yeah, typical guy, super quick, small in stature. DeMarco Murray is the exact opposite, and they broke the bank for him.
Right.
Ryan Matthews gives you a little bit of that in-between back, but I don't think they can even keep all three of them next year just because of salary.
Salary cap, yeah.
I'm sure the Eagles fans are probably happy that he's gone. I know they're pretty hardcore out there, pretty pissed off, as you can imagine, but I think it's better that he's gone for him and the city.
Well, has the damage been done though? When you try and implement your offense and you get rid of half the team that got you success and bringing in others, now you got to pretty much instill another offense with a new coach. How much? Well, one, how much do we think his replacement will have success? And sure, it's too far out to tell who's going to be his replacement, but should we expect the same thing from Chip and his crew? Out of this next group that comes in, they're going to have to implement an offense. And you mentioned, Chris, they're not going to want to build it around Bradford, I don't think. So what's expected for the Philadelphia Eagles next year?
Christopher?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it all depends what kind of coach they get in there. They got, like I said, they got a lot of questions. I think what really did in Chip was losing. When you lose the locker room, that's it. Like, Laurie had no choice. He couldn't bring him back. You lose the locker room.
Grown men, Adam. Grown men.
Grown men.
Can't lose them. Once you lose them, they're pissed off.
Yeah,
they do this.
That's what I'm saying. Plus, they're getting a check, so they have no incentive to get to the next level.
When you got guys pulling themselves out of the game, that's not good.
Yeah.
Right. I think Chip Kelly should have addressed his defense instead of his offense. Like I said, he had a championship run. He had a championship contender as an offense, and they were poised to make a few runs, a couple of seasons. But hey, thanks, Chip. Whatever you say, Chip. Appreciate it. Thank you. Giants, don't come to the Giants, please. Sell your house in New Jersey. Give me a peace of mind. I'll pay your capital gains. Don't even worry about it.
Go coach the LA Chargers next year, Chip.
Wherever they're going. All right. So all Sunday games. This is a first. I mean, there's no Thursday night football, Saturday night or Saturday games. Nobody's playing in England. It's going to be a traditional NFL Sunday like we used to get in the 80s and 90s.
Packed house.
Really. So that being said, you don't have to break down your slates, mate, and go on, the Thursday, Saturday games. You're going to have your early games and your late games. There's not going to be any Monday night football like we just mentioned. So
that's damn near un-American, though.
Yep. What's that?
That's damn near un-American, though.
What? No MNF?
Yeah, they couldn't even put like the piss poor Raiders out there in Oakland time. I think they get their own time, like a city time, not even a state.
I think that organization's licking their chops, and maybe they're worried about going somewhere else. I'm not sure. Anyway, do you think Oakland stays there?
I don't know.
Who
I
gives
couldn't care any less, to be honest with you.
Chris doesn't care. Chris has no care whatsoever.
Hopefully they move a few 100 miles to the west into the ocean and I'll drown. I'd like that a lot.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of stuff going on here. It's 40. We're coming up with 5 minutes left. I'd like to keep this to a 45-minute session here. Let's take a few minutes to reflect on this. This year and season long since Week 16, the NFL Fantasy Football Championships have just passed. I'm taking home the second place trophy, which is terrible because that's the word. You got the last pick pretty much, so to speak. The 11th pick is the worst pick in a snake draft, I'll tell you. And couple that with not getting all the bacon, you just get a portion of it. That sucks. And then in one league, and I was forced to play Dave.
It really sucks,
you can Dave, you can sympathize with me, bro. You took second place as well in my league, so this has to be your best year in fantasy sports, Dave. Can you agree or disagree there?
Well, yes, stats don't lie. It was a good overall year, but it's my second best overall year in season-long fantasy. I took second in another league we all play in, but yeah, it was nice to bitch slap you around in the game.
Before he gets busy insulting me, let me just let the record reflect. Out of about 10 years of fantasy sports, Dave has placed in the I'm not holding back here. Dave has placed in the top, maybe ranked. He's always had one of the best picks in fantasy sports. I'll be nice, all right. I won't. Okay. He's always had one of the better picks in fantasy sports because he hasn't won. And now he's won, so go ahead. Let the beatdown commence, Dave.
Well, I didn't win. I took second. I'm more impressed with the W's that I got with a slightly above average roster, but I couldn't have done it without the trade that I begged Chris Sweet to lend me Carson Palmer for the year, just because I knew without Palmer I wasn't going to get anywhere.
Yeah, right.
My best so far, yeah.
Chris, you did that after I approached you about Carson Palmer, right?
I believe so. It made me feel real good when the two teams in the championship in your league both were using quarterbacks they got from my crappy team. because that's what I had to do to rebuild what was an absolute dumpster fire. And my biggest success of this year, besides winning the Maximum Fantasy League, which we'll get to in a minute, my biggest success this year was winning the consolation bracket in this league, and now I got the number one pick. I got a bunch of good keepers, and I can take what was perennially probably the worst team in that league perennially because they never paid and busy somewhere banging 19-year-olds. I decided to go ahead and turn that franchise around, and now I got the number one pick. I got a couple extra picks for trading Fat Eddie Lacy to Wagner and trading my two stud quarterbacks to Dave and Sean. So I'm looking pretty good. I got David Johnson, and next year it's a war on the whole league. So y'all better watch out. Is all I got to say.
Well, you're a welcome addition to the league. You're dead weight.
Adam, are we handing out trophies yet? I've just received a text message through someone in your league, and we're still trying to locate that trophy that is never
It's on
gotten
Jimmy
passed
Higgins'
around.
mantle. He refuses. He refused to get. That's the thing about Jimmy Higgins is that this is the best thing he's ever happened in his life was winning 2 years ago in fantasy sports.
Who let him win?
I don't know. He won. No one let him win. He just somehow. That's a great question. I might have to write a book on that, on Jimmy Higgins just winning. Anyways, yeah, this dude, he still will. He refuses. I asked him to pass the rotational trophy, the league trophy around, which is in the league charter. You're supposed to do this. He refused to send it to me. And now Sean Connolly, he wants it, and he's saying, we'll have to make an amendment to the rules, to the charter. If Jimmy Higgins does not pass over this league trophy, he's going to take. He's expecting the commissioner to strike down and take away a second round pick and give it to Conley instead. So I don't know. We'll see about that.
Sorry to send us off on that personal tangent.
That's right. I just got the text too. So
you should go NCAA and strip him of his previous championship, like the USC Reggie Bush team.
There you go.
Unfortunately, Jimmy only has one, so it's not going to matter one bit to Jimmy.
Right.
But anyway, speaking of this season long, and my trade to Eddie Lacy, which brings me into the last, just reflection here. The best and worst moves of the season for me. Worst, I didn't have too many good ones. I got to the championship, but I don't know how. I traded away Blake Bortles,
donkey,
second round pick. This is the worst move I made. Right, knee-jerk reaction to injuries in my league. Traded away Blake Bortles, a second round pick, and some Timmy the Toolman Taylor type of dude. I can't even remember the guy I traded away, with this, for a mega deal of Russell Wilson, third leg. That's Greg Olson for new viewers.
Third leg. Yep.
Third leg.
G-Rag.
And God, who else did I get? I got Lynch and a 10th and a 12th rather. That was a mega blockbuster deal. Lynch didn't play a game for me.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I traded. The second worst trade was to Chris Sweet. I traded Eddie Lacy. He got me 17 points in 1 week that allowed me to advance into the playoffs. So without further ado, I got to say that I made some bonehead plays for trades in season long. Just nothing but knee-jerk reactions, man. I guess the best thing I ever did was pick up D'Angelo Williams this year on the free agent wire. So that's about it. That's my reflection in season long. I wish I would have never made the playoffs.
Adam, how much money does third place play?
Third place pays out, your entry fee of $50. So.
Oh, sweet. So you're playing for free next year in your own league.
Pretty much. I mean, I could be like Josh Fallon, just implement a tax to where everybody pays his league fee for him. But I mean, that's just not American, or is it? I don't know. But yeah, it's $50. So you'll be. I think you took third, right? No, you took second.
No, I took second, Adam.
I took fourth, Dave. So I'm not going to be getting any money.
Oh, well, that's a dagger.
Dagger.
What do I get for seventh? Do I get anything for seventh place? I
Now
get
you
like a free
get
cheeseburger.
you get a participant trophy.
Yeah.
All right, I
Ask
like
James
that.
Harrison about those.
I'll tell you what. At least he returned them. At least he returned them.
Did he get him
That's
with his
what Steelers do.
Did he get him with his HGH?
Oh, easy now.
I don't know about that.
You gotta check some YouTube videos.
That's about it there for this tonight's show of the Big Three DFS show. Conclusions this year has been a great year. I met Al Walsh DFS. We threw this project together. Met some good people along the way. Nick Rodriguez, he sat in and did a little bit with us. He's moved on and done some good stuff down there with what's that? What the hell's he?
Go Draft.
Go Draft. He's with Go Draft.
Fantasy Hub. He got some other. Yeah.
He's got some other stuff he's doing too. So check Nicky Rodriguez out, man. It's always good to talk to Nick every now and then on Twitter. I don't know. I think it's just Nick Rodriguez DFS is his Twitter handle now. YouTube coming along and helping me develop this project, the Wagner Wire. Big thanks to you guys, man. Dave, you had a $10,000 win 2 weeks ago. That's a great for business. Obviously, we've had a lot of followers, over the past couple of weeks. And Al Walsh, man, I've said it again. Al Walsh, you've been a tremendous, I guess.
Help, Adam. Help.
Yeah, well, helps. I was looking for asset, so to speak. This dude.
Just because you got a degree doesn't mean you got to get all vocabulary on me. Like, just tone it down a little bit.
Get all what? You mean
vociferous
vocabulary?
Putting like 14 syllables out there trying to sound smart.
Eloquent.
I'm not trying to sound smart. I think a lot of times I just lose word association, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, a good colleague, a good associate, Al Walsh, coming along, meeting him. We had a really good time at the DFS Players Conference. It's been a good year. It's been a good 2015. The next time we see you, it will be 2016, and it will be, I'm pretty sure, NBA. I think I want to do an NHL NBA show, but I'm pretty sure that the three of us, meaning Al, Chris, and I, we're going to attend to the NBA. And now that Christmas is here, the NBA season's really started. So, anyways, that's that. That'll do us all. That'll do it for us at the DFS Big Three. I'm Adam Wagner. You can find me at the Wagner Wire. You can find all of us actually on thewagnerwire.com. These are my beat writers. They got columns there, every week. Fantasy experts for the Wagner Wire. Check them out, man. Chris Sweet at Chris Sweet. What the hell's your tag name? I can't even read it there.
At the Chris Sweet.
At the Chris Sweet. It's pretty easy. And Dave Zidek, you can find him. Oh, he doesn't have one. That's right. Trying to get Dave on Twitter, but he's just got. He's like scared of the CIA seeing him or something. I don't know.
Dave Zidek's on AOL Instant Messenger. If you want to hit him up on there.
He's still got dial-up. Actually, he doesn't. He goes to the Brunswick Library now to get that high.
You might be able to find me on the Oregon Trail.
Nice. He's got a 40 free hours disc if anyone wants one.
Yeah. And if you don't, send them over so I can use them.
Please do that. Not only does he need the $10,000 wasn't enough. He still can't get regular internet. He has to get it off of other people. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm stealing people's Wi-Fi. I got to drive to the Brunswick Library. Do you know how much money I'm wasting in gas going back and forth? It's ridiculous.
Library.
Man up, fix it. Anyway,
WagnerWire.com. You can check me out, Zidek at Just the Tip. And like I told you before, Adam, I don't want to have to keep telling your viewers again. If you don't know what Just the Tip is, either ask your girlfriend or maybe even your baby's mother.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good
Just
time.
try it out. Just try it out just for a minute.
Try it out. See how it feels.
Maybe I'll chow on my hair. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks for joining me. Chris Sweet, thanks for coming in. I know we had a little bit of mic difficulties before the show.
I'm glad we got that fixed, gentlemen. This was a good one.
Absolutely. It's good to see you guys. Again, next week we'll have Al Walsh back on, as our other co-host. Without further ado, I bid you adieu, rather. Gary
Excuses.
Gary Thorne with Bid You Adieu. All right, gentlemen. Thanks again.
See ya.
Later.